Welcome to another miscellaneous Monday. Today I'm going to be talking about my favourite non-photography items that not only help me get the jobs, but help me get the jobs done. So let's just jump straight in. So the first thing I want to talk about is a tent. Now some of you might regard this as the most important thing about photography. Now a lot of you may be wild campers. I've only done it a handful of times and it is amazing. If you're a photographer, a landscape photographer, a nature photographer, you're going to love wild camping. Because I think they really nicely go hand in hand. The brilliant thing about the tent is it can get you to places that you wouldn't be able to get to otherwise. It's not always a case of just parking the car and jumping across the road and being in an amazing location. That doesn't always work like that. So the beauty of having an amazing a tent is that you can access these amazing locations. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is this. Now, a lot of you might not recognise this. I wouldn't probably not be a photographer if it wasn't for this. Now, this is a distance laser. Start that again. This is a laser distance measurer. Now, what this enables me to do is literally measure the heights, the lengths, the depths, everything of a room. And why is that important? Well, a lot of you will say, that's not important. Well, the reason it is important for me is I wouldn't be a professional photographer if it wasn't for this. When I got my first job as a property photographer, it was a prerequisite that we had to do floor plans. And I wouldn't be able to do floor plans without one of these. And for a couple of quid off eBay, this is a really, really important, well, priceless thing really, because I wouldn't be able to chase that dream of mine if it wasn't for this. So massive, massive piece of equipment for me, that is. We'll go with the boots. Now the boots. Having good boots is probably something that is sounds so obvious, but make sure, make triple sure that you get good boots. These are North Face boots. They're not the best boots. There are other great companies out there that probably make better boots. Scarpa, Salomon, those sorts of people. But these North Face boots, I've had these for about 3 years now. They've taken me to the top of Ben Nevis, Snowdon, and they're great. They're waterproof, and make sure you get Gore-Tex boots. If you're running around the mountains and the landscapes, make sure you get waterproof boots because you don't want to end up with trench foot. Gore-Tex boots are the way forward. Business cards. Never underestimate the power of a little business card. Now, funny story, it didn't really come to anything, so it's not really that funny really, eggs on my face. When I was in Norway, I remember chatting to an actress who we were both taking a cable car up to the top of a mountain, and she told me she was an actress, and I said, well, I'm a headshot photographer. And it was the coolest moment early on in my career, because I remember thinking, I'm networking whilst on a photography trip in another medium of photography, and I just loved how they crossed. So that was a really cool moment. She never called me, which is annoying. Business cards, we meet people all the time, especially if you've got the tripod out, you're taking some shots. People want to see, people want to chat to you. So if you can say, look, I'm making a YouTube, I'm making a vlog, or I'm going to put these on Facebook or Twitter or whatever, check me out, here's my details. Job done. A really great way to network. And remember, you've got to network to get work. Little story about this, black tape. Every photographer needs to have some black tape. You can get this really cheap, and it can really get you out of some sticky situations. I remember in Iceland, I wouldn't have been able to take this photo if it wasn't for this black tape, because I was shooting on a tripod at the time, a Manfrotto cheapo travel tripod that just broke on me. The head just snapped off, and I thought, oh, what am I going to do now? So I managed to somehow maneuver the head of the tripod solidly on with this black tape, and I managed to just like clamp it down with this black tape, and I managed to get the long exposure because it was really secure. Without this, I wouldn't have got that shot, and that shot to this day remains one of my favourite ever shots. Really important, again, get yourself a warm coat, and if you can, get yourself a warm coat that wraps up into the size of a 70 to 200 telephoto lens. Having a down insulated coat available to you in a second's scramble, if you just go into your bag, again, can really, really help you out. Now, this isn't waterproof, but I do have a North Face waterproof jacket that does exactly the same thing. So North Face, this is one of the reasons I bought this coat, because I love the fact that this can be done, and with a majority of North Face coats, you can do this. So just turn that pocket inside out, and you never know, you might be able to do it. So definitely get yourself a warm jacket. And I don't just take this to landscape shoots, I always take this to weddings. And one thing that sounds obvious is, us photographers are that side of the lens, so it doesn't matter what we wear. So if you want to end up wearing this at a wedding because you're a bit cold, that doesn't matter. So take yourself a warm jacket or a waterproof jacket. It can really get you out of jail. Wellies, otherwise known as, I think in America you guys call them gum boots, in Canada I think. On the farm in this country I've heard them called muck boots. A pair of wellies, again like I was saying with the tent, can get you places that you wouldn't be able to get to otherwise. You can wade through shallow rivers and get the tripod in the shallows of a river or a stream or a lake. If it's snowing like it has been in the UK this week, these bad boys can get you to the top of those hills that you wouldn't be able to otherwise. And well, I'm not saying that you wouldn't be able to get to otherwise, but they will just get you to the top of that hill or mountain, maybe not mountain, I don't know if you can climb a mountain in wellies, with a lot less stress. No wet feet, no wet ankles, no wet clothes. These wellies, again, get yourself a good pair of wellies. These are Cotswold Outdoors. These were, I think they're about 50 quid, something like that, but they're so warm and they're great in those winter months, so definitely get yourself a pair of muck boots. Now, this is again going to be quite an obvious one, but on that theme of winter, gloves. Now I've got two pairs of gloves. Now you might see these in my vlogs, especially now it's cold at the moment here in the UK. I've got a pair of thin gloves that I think they're designed for joggers or something. A pair of Nike gloves, and they're great. I absolutely love them. They're brilliant for manoeuvring the controls of the camera and my mobile phone, things like that. But if it's really cold, get yourself some of these. Now these are quite heavy duty. They are seal skins, and they are, see that? They're waterproof. So if you're scrambling up Travan, if you're going for a little wander up the Gliders in Snowdonia, or if you find yourself in the Highlands and you need to have 3 points of contact, great mountaineering advice by the way, get yourself some waterproof gloves, because you can you get yourself some extra grip if you need to. So seal skins are great gloves. Next, I'm gonna mention the head torch. Now again, I got this for really cheap. This was about 8 quid, and it's got a couple of different functions on it. So it's got the sort of basic light, it's got the stronger light, and it's got the flashing red. The only thing that stops me, I was having a conversation with someone on YouTube the other day about they use that setting a lot, but I don't use it because I think it kind of signifies that you're in danger, but it's great for doing long exposures because there won't be as much light in your foreground. So yeah, it's always a good little setting to use. Next thing is a hat, because are you even a photographer if you don't own a silly hat? You've got to keep that head warm in these cold conditions. Finally, I want to mention this. Now, a diary. Call me old school, but I hate the digital way of diary-ness. I much prefer good old school diary. It's a really nice way of, you know, I can keep my expenses in here. I can keep contact numbers if I need to. I know I don't really need to do that these days, but getting a good diary is great. And on that note, I have 2 notebooks. One notebook is my rough notebook with my old dog Sasha, R.I.P. Sasha, most legendary dog that you will have ever met in your life, which is why she's on the front of a notepad. This is my rough book. Do you remember at school you used to have a rough book? This is what this is. So no clients ever see this book. If I have an idea in the middle of the night for a YouTube video, or I want to scribble down some of the bullet points of this video, I'm going to do it in here. I can just write anything I want in here, and when I go and meet the clients, I take the posh one, the A4 notebook. And this is, the idea of is to keep them both separate. So this is what I make my formal notes in front of clients, because it's always great when you're in a meeting to get things written down at the time when things were said. But the rough book remains very rough, and that is its intention. So thanks for watching this video, everybody. I hope you've managed to get something from it. I could have talked all day and all night about different things that I like to take on my shoots or plan shoots with, that sort of thing, but there's obviously not enough time in the day, and I can't really get some things in here, like a car. Obviously a car is not photographic equipment, but I kind of need the car. So, you get what I mean. Thanks for watching this video, everybody. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. I'd really appreciate it if you come on over and join Team Andy Mag. I'll see you on Thursday for the vlog, but until then, remember to tell your friends, folks. La, 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 la.